Hey Ankit, welcome you to D2C podcast by GoKwik. Welcome you. And let me begin with asking you, get to know more about your brand. What are you doing with D2C brands? We would love to know about that first. Let's start with that.
Sure, Chirag. Thank you very much for inviting me to this session today, and I'm really excited to and looking forward to talk to you and Amit today. So Chirag, Meduit story. Maybe I'll start with a little background there. No, so it starts in 2007, seven-ish. So where I started, like this was my first startup. I was like not even I was hardly 20 at that time, and so there I started a city-based magazine uh, in my hometown Meerut, and there this startup lasted for almost 2 years, and from you can say that the seeds of entrepreneurship came from there. Then and then after that also and then digital space came. I kept on experimenting on Facebook, creating various groups, and engaging audiences, even monetizing some of them over the time. In parallel, they were like corporate and all were also going on. And cutting short and coming to 2014, after my IMT days, I joined HDFC Life. While on one side there was a passion for digital marketing, and I wanted to experience scale, like spending monies and using different types of tools and all. So that kept me on the corporate side because learning curve was really exciting. In parallel, I always wanted to start something. So, and in parallel, I have while I was, I've worked with HDFC Life, Reliance Jio, then Bloomberg Quint, then First Cry, Inc42. In parallel, I've seen that like there were many people who were always looking for digital support, and pro bono I helped them. These were my friends or acquaintances, and I helped them as much as I could. Over the time, I found that, especially after the lockdown thing, after this COVID-19 thing, that the world has shifted to digital. So this is one side where like everybody is shifting to digital, and there is more need to have digital entrepreneurs who can help these brands who understand the offline business very well, who can curate good products, but do not have enough experience in scaling digital businesses. So that's where our expertise come into picture, and I decided that let's start helping these brands. While on the other side, the ecosystem is also exciting. If you look at Inc42's report, where I think there are close to 5,000, acknowledged D2C startups, while there are more than 70,000 sellers on Amazon and other marketplaces. But there are 5,000 D2C brands, and from there you can find like hardly 100 are in the growth stage right now. So the idea is that if we can help, let's say, even 10 or 12 brands to shift from solopreneur or early stage to growth stage in 3 to 4 years period. So that's what we are aiming in next 5 years period to become. So that's about that's about us. And right now, Chirag, we are balancing between D2C and media brands and helping them on demand side predominantly. So you might not be able to say that we have a specific niche. We do like we help them as an extended digital team, and like from setting up their website to getting their channels set up, and then scaling them, even helping them setting up processes on the supply side sometimes, or on the delivery side. We help them everywhere we can.
Wow. Ankit, you have had a fascinating journey, from 2007 to now. And truly you have seen the world become digital. We are still in the early stages of this digitization wave, which, let's say, if we go to previous generation industrialization takeover, I think we're clearly in that phase where digitization is coming in. And I think our listeners are going to love this because you have a lot of context in terms of what you do with brands as well as your experience, right? And I have many questions related to what you do to ask. Let me start with what are the problem statements you are seeing, because you said that you help brands move from early stage to growth. right? Which is, and I completely agree with you that a lot of brands require support here. What are the typical challenges, let's say, you see when you onboard a early stage brand? What are the challenges which they are going through, and then what do you solve for?
Okay. So Chirag, the challenges, as you know, for D2C brands or for any business for that matter, change as they shift the scale. So challenges for solopreneurs are different. Challenges for early stage startups are different, and like I've seen grow First Cry, Reliance Jio, their challenges are completely different altogether. And so, especially if you talk about solopreneurs or early stage startups, I think for solopreneurs, the biggest challenge is getting funds. To start the business, getting that confidence that yes, I should move to this business. From there to maybe getting the product ready, doing the market research, identifying, like what should be prioritized, getting let's say one or two vendors or folks who can help them in doing the business. So choosing the right tools is another big challenge for the solopreneurs. As you move to early stage, when you let's say move to a revenue range of $10,000 a month or so, so I think then these challenges shift. So where your first challenge could be to fix ROAS, return on ad spends. Like you have already started doing some Facebook ads or sometimes like Google search ads. Also, you have uh, got a kind of product market fit, like I've seen brands exploring the product market fit even in the growth stage. But you have like some people, let's say at least you have 100 200 people who have bought your product, 30-40 people who have given you a repeat order. So there is some proof that yes, this product can be accepted in the market, and now you are trying with different messaging, different angles, and so on. So I think ROAS is big challenge. Cost cost of acquiring customers, CAC, is another big challenge, because you have to bleed initially. The profit is very far, but even getting a marketing positive is difficult, at least for the first quarter or so. Chirag, I have also seen RTO is a big challenge initially, because there is a lack in trust. Like brands don't trust you, so and you have to keep the CODs in place. And I think you guys are also solving the same problem. So this is also a big problem at the early stage. And you have to solve it as fast you can, because no matter how much orders you are getting, if you're not delivered them, if you're not monetizing them finally, it doesn't make sense. I think early stage brands also start working on documentation. Hiring is also another challenge, because talent, attracting talent is a challenge for these companies, because they are not very much known. They are not, let's say, funded heavily or funded very minusculely. So that way, hiring is another challenge. Also, one challenge that I have observed is or biggest problem that they are trying to solve is between scale and growth, which we were talking a moment back as well, that whether to go on the scale side or on the on the growth side. So let's say there are companies who will and I think this is the biggest dilemma of investors as well, where on one side you will find that there are companies who are in niche, who are profitable, but now you will find challenges in scaling them. They have a limited TAM, and there is a limitation in terms of what you can monetize on that side. While on the other side, if you look at the other brands where you could scale, they're not niche, and you could scale to a level, and you could grow. They are not profitable, because they at one level they become commoditized. We have to commoditize themselves. Also, I think, and at one point in time they find a dilemma where you have to, whether to scale further, you have to go offline. And you might be seeing a lot of companies right now in this phase, especially in the growth stage. So I think these are the key highlights or challenges that founders at different stages in D2C, in building a D2C brand face. Amit.
Got it. Ankit, and you said that typically you onboard a brand where you have some sense of product market fit, some repeat orders are there. That's when at least you approach a brand that, okay, can we help you? You have some sense of PMF. Can we help you, take it to the next level? Am I getting it right?
Yes,
And
yes. We help brands from scaling from 1 to 10.
got it. And in that journey, so let's say we know the problem statements then of these brands which have PMF, that they are now looking at scale. So there's some problems come with scale. They don't have access to talent in terms of digital talent. And we also know that some of the RTO problems, of course, come up, which we cater to. But where does then Meduit Labs come in and solve for, let's say, some of the problem statements you said, ROAS, CAC, etc., etc. I'm assuming that these are some of the problems which are core to you, which you go about and solve. How do you go about and solve? What are the problem statements which you go about and solve?
Okay, so Chirag, ROAS is key problem that we try to solve. So, like we have a proprietary model that we have cracked on Facebook and Instagram ads, where initially you like we don't scale at the start. We maybe start with $5, $10 a day kind of budget. We test that which which type, and like before even jumping to the ads, we spend our 50 to 60% time in market research. Like almost first month we spend and even sometimes founders D2C founders become restless because they are not here they have invested in a partner like us, and on the other side they expect returns in next 30 days, but we set the expectation from the start. That this we have also learned over the time. Initially we were not like this, so we set the expectation, and we do business only with people who have understanding of this concept, that you won't be able to crack this in like 6 months, 1 year's period. It's going to take time, so you have to be patient enough. So now what we do, we test we do market research. We list down different angles. We write like what are the what is the motivation for their audience, what is the fear for this audience, who is this audience actually. I mean, not just from demography point of view or like their like how do they behave, but we also go to psychographic level and understand that like what kind of stories would actually attract to them now. And then we create different types of test cases in terms of angles, and we have frameworks also in place which we test. After this, when we have like 20 to 30, even 50 different angles placed in ad sets in Facebook ads, after that we find out that okay, this angle is working, this angle is not working, and now this is and then we also validate it. So we don't stop here, we also validate that whether, let's say, if we have found out that these 5 angles are the most promising and profitable angles, so let's validate that. If we let's say even if we spend $100,000 tomorrow in this specific copy or angle, will it give you the similar kind of return? So we validate it and then we scale. So this is one value that we regularly add, Chirag. On the other side, we also add a lot of value on the own channel side. A lot of brands maybe they set up only a couple of email flows. So we have identified close to 70 flows on the email marketing side, our own channel side, where these and we find out that, let's say, maybe over the time 20 or 30 different flows would be applicable to a brand, and in the course of 1 to 3 quarters we implement all these flows, test that which kind of flows are working. Again, I think Chirag, in my opinion, performance is one side, but it contributes only 20% to a brand. 80% it's all about how you narrate the story, how you connect with your audience, and this is the problem that we are solving.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, Ankit, and I think taking a thread there, now just switching the point of view more towards the market itself, right? You've seen that a lot of B2C players, a lot of e-commerce players are, trying to think of India in the sense of Bharat, right? Which is, how do we take our brands to away from the metropolitan cities, more towards tier 3, tier 4. So I have a two-part question while we explore that. One, do you see that there is a distinctness with which marketing has to be approached, especially because in these markets the penetration of digital is not that high? Of course, it has improved. A and B, what would be your advice to some of these entrepreneurs who are trying to tackle that segment of the market?
Amit, you rightly said that Bharat and India are two different markets altogether, and you can't use the same tactic to crack if you want to penetrate to Bharat side of the things. In my opinion, the fundamentals, and first you have to go with first principle. Whether it's a metropolitan market or Bharat market, you have to do market research. You have to understand your consumer. You have to understand the need while you are creating the product. And it's a good thing that let's say that there is a product that you are trying to sell. You would also have to identify that how this product is helping the consumer in the end. Sometimes it is helping the consumer functionally. Sometimes it is helping the consumer emotionally. So you have to identify that how you are bridging this gap between your product and your consumer. So to me, I think market research is definitely one approach that brand should follow. While I think your in addition to it, your presence should be different for this audience. So like how you are communicating the brand or positioning the brand to the India audience, Bharat has to be different because they will look at you from a very, very different lens. And that's why I suggest that brands should focus either on India or on Bharat market. So they should not focus on both. Otherwise, it will be a problem.
Yeah, that's an insight.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
And Ankit, you also mentioned that you figured out 70 different ways of email communications. I only know of one framework in which this RFM technique which fits in, but our listeners will gain a lot. Anything you can share in terms of how they should visualize this in today's world. And I think this has a second thread also to this is that has the world started to change, or have you started to use WhatsApp commerce, not only email but WhatsApp, and what have been your learnings there?
Okay, so I will answer the first question first, Chirag, and on the email or own channel side, I think there are different stages in the customer journey. So Chirag, we always ensure that it's a customer centric approach. You think from customer side first and then do everything around it. Whether it is like selecting the channels, creating the experiences, creating customer support, creating deliveries, anything you have to do, you have to think about the customer first, and then start from there and take it to the product side. So there we have identified that, let's say when user comes to your website for the first time, or even doesn't come to your website, let's say you can start collecting their information by giving them some freebies, or offering them, connecting with them through interesting, let's say, podcast or other content marketing efforts. Then from there you bring them closer, bring them on the website. They will read your blogs. From there, let's say you will show up website pop-up. You will capture their information, and then so all these activities, the moment you convert an unknown user to known user, you capture their detail, and after that you start engaging with them. So, and these 70 kind of communication flows that we have designed are designed keeping these touch points in mind after you convert the user from unknown to known. So let's say it can start with just talking about like different use cases with the customer, and you're not salesy from first message.
Yes.
So there is a welcome flow. Precisely, where for the first month you are just building the connection, and you are patient enough that like you're not going with the sales bag in hand and saying that, hey, buy from me, because it won't, it can give you some sales initially, but you have to keep long term in mind that you are creating cult followers or believers with the concept of your brand, rather than just buying functional things from you. Otherwise you won't be profitable. Then you will jump into the discount game, which is bloody. Nobody has ever cracked it. So that way, if you want to charge premium, if you want people to believe in your concept, you have to start with a neutral approach. It's like we believe, and we firmly believe in this, Chirag and Amit, that any relation starts with the concept of you give first, and then you expect anything in return.
Correct.
To keep on giving it, and make reciprocation core of the relationship. So that way brands have to do it, and then from there, when they naturally shift to exploring your product, then we start talking about products to them. So then we reach out to them and say that, hey, you explore this product, these are the benefits, and maybe you would like to explore an offer. Then cart abandon, payment failure, so all these types of flows would come into picture that we have identified.
Got it. And which was the second part of the question, but before that, a related one. I keep hearing that in India, email marketing is dying. It's no more, at least a big significant driver of share of wallet. What are your views? Because you're deep into this.
Okay, so Chirag, again, a slightly different context here. That I think emails and newspaper print. So they are the brothers lost in Kumbh Mela. They have the same destiny. So everybody, like I've seen people in 1980s saying that, hey, radio has, or 60s, that radio has come, so print will die. Print is still there. Then come 1980s in India, when TV started, then again people said that emails will this newspaper will die, print will die. It is still there. And even today, people who have a habit of reading news is there. Now digital, I think, has changed it a bit. The habit has transformed, but still print is a need of need of the hour. Similarly, I think email is a similar channel where since 90s people are following email. After that, let's say WhatsApp has been introduced in the last decade. Slack and other channels have still come, but the need of or Asanas are competing with email. Asanas of the world are also competing with emails. But I think it's my personal space, and until this remains my personal space, email will never die.
And you're seeing a good share of wallet continue if targeting is proper, if messaging is proper. Brands are able to drive good, I'm sure good ROI, but significant, at least decent amount of share of wallet also.
Yeah, Chirag, there is also a catch here. Some of the audiences, so let's say in First Cry, for example, where the audience are moms, and so some of them are not regularly opening their emails, checking their emails. So maybe in that market, emails might not be the best way to reach out to the audience. Still, it will give you some conversions, but it is not the best way to reach out. But you can't ignore it because there is, let's say, X% of your audience who will be approachable on email. Now, what you do, you identify those X% audience and only talk to them. In my opinion, I think 30% of your revenue should come from own channels, be it WhatsApp, emails, SMS, push notification, and so on. So if you're not making 30% revenue from email marketing, I mean, people like us, brands like us can definitely help and come into play. And you have to do at least $10,000 to test it. $10,000 a month to test that. Let's say at least your $3,500 are coming from own channels.
And related to that, how are you seeing the trend of WhatsApp as a channel in terms of the own channel sales contribution? How are you seeing that evolving in India, specifically after the secular push being made by WhatsApp in terms of monetization and pushing these ad messages How are you seeing that pan out? Are brands leveraging that?
So Chirag, I'll set a little context here. Like I've been using WhatsApp since 2017. So since my Bloomberg Quint days, so this was my first project in Bloomberg Quint when I joined there, and I scaled it from 0 to 500,000 people who were like following Bloomberg Quint on WhatsApp.
Yes.
And we were driving close to, I think, if I remember, 10% of the 10% of 20% of the traffic from WhatsApp.
Wow.
Right. And
I do remember Quik being the leader in this, that they used to send WhatsApp notifications for every business alert.
Yeah, and this is 2 years before WhatsApp launched WhatsApp business, APIs. So I think I would say that we have contributed a lot in what to make WhatsApp what it is today. And on the other side, we have also monetized it. They're like monetization from sponsorship point of view, monetization from subscription point of view. So even 25% of the subscription revenue was coming from WhatsApp, and I'm talking about 2018.
Wow.
Right. So I think WhatsApp. And in my opinion, so this is one side which we could achieve at Bloomberg Quint. While if you come to the other side of business like D2C and post 7 December 2019 when WhatsApp launched its APIs and blocked all other ways to reach out to people, I think WhatsApp wanted to monetize themselves and it was competing with their ad business at Facebook. So obviously it makes sense to them. On the other side, they also set a narrative of that WhatsApp is like WhatsApp is for personal communication on one side, while you have also seen that even WhatsApp has tried advertisements on the other side. So it's an it contradicts principally. But I think I have seen WhatsApp being the most powerful tool. Even I would place it slightly above emails, because your read rate in WhatsApp is anywhere between 90-95%. And this is the first principle. You can't see your unread nudge on your WhatsApp. Nobody likes it. So you like to read all the unread WhatsApp every day.
Yeah.
Then from there, I have like sent millions of messages in last 5-6 years period, and on WhatsApp, and there I have seen a 20% consistent reply rate.
Wow.
And I have tried with 20 plus brands. So there is a consistent reply rate of 20% if the message is designed in the right manner. So that's another benchmark. And when 20% people are replying to your messages, you have high chances. And that's why I think it is like your return on investment is very high on WhatsApp when it comes to sales, when it comes to engagement. And I think it's the best way to reach out to the audience today.
Wow. How are you seeing brands leveraging that? Are brands hogging on to this, that 20% open rates? Does it also, and WhatsApp, by the way, is expensive than email and SMS. Does it also fit in, or is it better from a ROI point of view also?
To send a WhatsApp, you require 31 paisa. You have to pay 31 paisa to send one message. So that's and every time you have to pay. But to send the message, and this and your window to communicate with them kept open for 24 hours. So your support team or sales team can talk to them in that 31 paisa. So I have seen that like the brands who are working with us, WhatsApp is our core strategy, along with emails, push, and even sometimes SMS. SMS is becoming very complicated with DLT regulation and all. And WhatsApp is taking over. So I think a combination of push and WhatsApp and email is cracking the game. And we sometimes also use Facebook and Google ads for remarketing, even the known audience. So this is the combination that we try with brands. So I think, but WhatsApp is definitely profitable.
And anything fundamentally different you're doing on WhatsApp? Because as far as I know, WhatsApp is a two-way communication channel, unlike, let's say, an SMS. At least, SMS is more consumption, and then I don't tend to reply, at least, or it has been spammed so much that we do get multi spam messages than personal messages these days. So at least that's only consumption. And in that kind of a case, do you do you advise brands using WhatsApp or at least the thought process in a different way?
So Chirag, there is a brand called Sirona. I think they have launched, recently they have launched this that you can period tracker on WhatsApp. So I think this is an innovative way where you are creating products that can on WhatsApp that can increase your recency and engagement with the brand, and you have permission to reach out to them as they need it. So I think it's a very good example. Similar stuff we have also created at GoKwik. You can track your stocks, you can add your stocks, and you can set time of the day where you want your watch list to be delivered on WhatsApp. And I like we took it like heads on with money control. When we did it, a lot of users have shifted because same reason, it is convenience. I will just look at WhatsApp. I don't have to even open the app because WhatsApp has more open rate as compared to money control or any other app in that space. So this is one angle to look at it, where you are creating different features which are useful for the brands to engage with you. On the other side, I think the strategy that we follow on WhatsApp side is that it's not like WhatsApp recommend that you take permission and consent at the first level, like when they share their details with you. We follow it at all the communication touch points. Whenever we reach out to the customer, we follow permission marketing. So that like we never sound salesy. We ask them if you want us to sound salesy. If you're interested in that, then we will send you the offer or something. So that's the communication that we always try at every touch point, and I think that way we could achieve like hardly any of our brands get blocked or like even marked as spam on WhatsApp due to this strategy. So you have to respect personal space, and you have to understand that WhatsApp is for family and friends, and you have to enter in that zone, which is a core of any individual.
Wow. I think that's interesting insight, Ankit. I mean, more and more we try to peel off the layers of WhatsApp and engagement. I can't help but try and ask you this question: that do you see this going forward more towards being marketing heavy, where WhatsApp is being leveraged more towards, hey, this is what we got, or do you think it's going to lean a little bit more towards engaging and layering on stories and maybe extending WhatsApp towards support, right? Do you think it's going to be more towards the post-buy engagement, or do you think it's going to be more towards the pre-buy? Speaking specifically of D2C or e-commerce brands as they leverage WhatsApp.
So Amit, to answer this question, I think it will vary from brand to brand. And it will align with what is your core philosophy. So like I said, our core philosophy is give first and then take, right? So where 80% of the times we will be on the giver side, and that at 80% can come straight, like like 80% would be the first, all the interactions. First interactions would cover that 80%, and then then user is buying. So to me, WhatsApp has to remain an engagement channel where you are strategically putting the sales angle.
Understood. Got
if you put a sales angle to, like, if you put sales first strategy with WhatsApp, you will not be able to attract the audience. It has to be like people should find benefits from there. They should not feel that they are being sold on WhatsApp.
Got it. Now, does that also mean that you see some play for WhatsApp in the loyalty space?
Can you please come again, Amit?
Does that mean that in the loyalty space, right? Do you see some play for WhatsApp as people design the loyalty part? Like, for example, could you leverage WhatsApp extensively for gathering reviews, sharing testimonials, and then that very important part of an e-commerce business, without which I think it just does not move ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you can we capture reviews on WhatsApp for a couple of brands. That is possible because it's a channel. Backend engine can be anything. So let's say my review system is connected with WhatsApp, which is just a medium to communicate to the audience, right? Similarly, Amit, so one of my works at Bloomberg Quint, where we have built this 0 to 500,000 users on and we have not spent even 1 rupee to leverage this growth was based on referral marketing on WhatsApp. So people were liking this concept and they were sharing it over the WhatsApp, and then other people were joining it. So in the period of 6 months or so, we scaled from 0 to 500,000 users. So I think and that is referral is part of loyalty. So there also this is one of the great examples which was published by HBR as well.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Ankit, our conversation is going super insightful. Unfortunately, we'll run out of time. But let me come and ask you one last question before we bring this to a wrap. That what are the trends you are seeing in D2C in 2023? How are you seeing the space evolve? Any advice to the brands for the coming year? What they should be watchful of? At least the macro environment has changed a bit, at least for the brands. How are you seeing the trend, and what are the advices from your side?
Okay. So I think 2023 is going to be a clear extension to 2022. So let's say 2022 has seen that focus has shifted from performance to, again, first principle came into picture, and all the brands who were talking or trying jazzy things in last 3-4 years, they came to fundamentals. So I think 2023 is going to be the year of fundamentals and first principle, where on one side you are focusing in building the brand from and creating that connect with your audience all the time. So I think that is going to be there, and brands will learn more and evolve more on that front. I think influencer marketing would be another area which should grow. While so the first phase of influencer marketing was where you were paying influencers, and there were macro influencers whom you were paying as a partner, or there were deals that were signed. The next generation is going to be nano and micro influencers who would be reached out on the concept of product seeding. That you are just sharing the product with them, and they are happy to give you reviews. They are happy to talk about your brand, post it on their channel, and it is going to be in volume. So I think that is going to be another interesting trend. Other than that, video first approach, because internet is thanks to Jio, Airtel, that video first approach is going to be there. So if you have not cracked the video game, you have to crack it in 2023. Otherwise, you might left behind as a D2C brand. I think a lot of brands would also try meme marketing. That is also an interesting approach, because now you are going to talk to Gen Z, and I think I was reading somebody on LinkedIn only, Nitya Sharma from Simple. So he was writing that next brands who are talking to Gen Z and making sense to them would be the next unicorn. So I think meme marketing is the approach to talk to Gen Z, or people from other audiences as well. But I think you have people, and I think we have not even scratched the surface on that front. Conversation commerce is definitely going to be a key player. It might take some revenue share from email marketing, contribution share from email marketing, and brands who are creating experiences on conversation marketing rather being salesy would be able to solve the problem, in my opinion.
Wow. Well, that's quite at least trend prediction from your side. With this, I think we come to a wrap of at least this edition. We would love to get you on part 2 and continue on this insightful journey, and love to hear from you. But thank you so much, Ankit, for joining us today. It was great having you.